Welcome to Zayfile. You've been told that your phone screen is frying your brain and melting your eyes. You've probably even bought those yellow-tinted glasses. But what if the blue light scare is the greatest marketing heist of the 21st century? Today, we open the Z-Files on the light that never sleeps. You know the glow. It's the last thing you see before you drift off to sleep, and the very first thing you reach for when you wake up. That cool, artificial light. It's always there, following you from room to room. It's your constant companion, promising endless connection, entertainment, you name it. We are, let's be honest, addicted to it. But we've all heard the warnings that this glow has a dark side, a silent threat that's damaging us from the inside out.
Okay, let's dive into the investigation. Every good mystery has a prime suspect, and in our case file today, that suspect is blue light. But here's the thing, there are two very different accusations being thrown at it.
So on one side, you've got the really scary charge that the light from our screens is literally burning out our retinas, maybe even leading to permanent eye disease. And on the other side, you've got the sneaky charge that this same light is quietly hijacking our brain's sleep signals, just wrecking our natural body clock. We're going to treat these like two separate criminal counts and see what the evidence actually says. All right, let's tackle that scary charge first. Is your phone blinding you? Well, the American Academy of Ophthalmology has a pretty clear verdict on this, and nope, there's just no scientific evidence for it. The amount of any harmful radiation is, well, negligible. So, on the charge of physical eye damage, our suspect walks free. But this is where the mystery gets really interesting, because when we look at that second charge, the one about messing with our sleep, we find our first real piece of evidence. There's a grain of truth here, a tiny clue that an entire industry is grabbed onto and run with. And the science here is actually fascinating. See, our bodies have this master clock, our circadian rhythm, and it's run by a super important hormone, melatonin. You can think of melatonin as the bouncer at a nightclub, the one who tells everyone, all right, party's over, time to go home and sleep. And what the research from Harvard Health shows is that the blue wavelengths of light are particularly good at telling that bouncer to take a break. In one Harvard study, they exposed people to green light and blue light of about the same brightness. And the result? The blue light suppressed melatonin for twice as long as the green light. We're talking about 3 hours. It also shifted their body clocks by double the amount. So here's the crucial point. Blue light, specifically at night, can absolutely interfere with your sleep. That part is true. But let's get some perspective here. Your screen is not the main source of blue light in your life. Not even close. The biggest, most powerful source by a long shot is the sun. Seriously, think of your phone as a low-level street hustler of blue light. The sun? The sun is the blue light boss, the kingpin. And that's a good thing. It's what tells your body to be awake and alert during the day. And that one single scientifically backed fact that blue light at night can affect your sleep cycle, well, that became the seed for a multi-billion-dollar industry. This is where our investigation really turns into a heist. Would you just look at these numbers? The market for blue light blocking glasses alone is projected to hit nearly $6 billion within the next 10 years. That is an entire industry built around protecting you from the glow of your screen. That is a whole lot of money for a problem that, well, might not be what you think it is. And here's the twist. The very same organization that cleared blue light of causing eye disease, the American Academy of Ophthalmology, explicitly does not recommend these glasses. And why? Because again, there's just no evidence they're needed to protect your eye health. So what we have here is a nearly $6 billion solution for a problem that the experts say doesn't exist in the way it's being sold. I mean, this marketing machine is incredible. It's not just glasses anymore. There are screen protectors. There are all these special settings on our phones. And now, get this, there's even anti-blue light skincare, which taps into studies that show high-intensity blue light can cause stress in skin cells. The fear has been monetized at every single turn. So, if blue light from our screens isn't blinding us, why do our eyes feel so awful after a long day of work? What's with the headaches, the dryness, the fatigue? It is time to unmask the real villain of this story. The real culprit actually has a name, and it's called digital eye strain. You might also hear it called computer vision syndrome. Now, it doesn't sound nearly as scary as retinal damage, but it is far more common, and it's the actual reason you feel that discomfort. It's just a whole collection of symptoms caused by how we use our devices. So what's really going on? Well, for starters, studies show that when we stare at a screen, our blink rate just plummets. We go from about 22 times a minute down to just 7, and that leads to dry, really irritated eyes. We're also forcing our eyes to hold a close-up focus for hours on end, which just tires out the eye muscles. Then you add in bad posture, maybe some poor lighting, screen glare, and you have the perfect recipe for discomfort. It's not about the light's color, it's all about our behavior.
Okay, now for the good news. The solution to this whole mystery isn't something you have to go out and buy for $80. It's a simple, completely free technique that acts like a secret code to protect your eyes.
It's called the 20-20-20 rule, and it's so easy. For every 20 minutes you spend looking at a screen, you just take a 20-second break and look at something that's at least 20 feet away. That's it. That is the entire code.
So why does this work so well? Well, because it directly fights the real culprits we just talked about. Looking into the distance lets the focusing muscles inside your eyes finally relax, giving them a much-needed break from all that constant close-up work. It also reminds your brain to start blinking normally again, which relubricates your eyes. It's the perfect pattern interrupt for digital eye strain.
So, the blue light scare isn't a total ghost story. It can mess with your sleep, but the idea that it's physically destroying your eyes has fueled a massive marketing heist. The real problem is so much simpler, and thankfully, so is the solution. You have the secret code now. You don't need any expensive gear, just a new habit. The file on the blue light heist is officially closed.